This finally brings me to Jean, who is a brewer and a blender, but he only blends his own Lambic. And I know Jean primarily as the father of Jean-Pierre. The son of Jean-Pierre. That's not right. We started to import Cantillon years ago with Jean-Pierre we dealt with, and Jean was just a lad. He's become the master brewer now at Cantillon for
8 years.
8 years. Wow, time flies. So, Jean Vanois of Cantillon.
Good evening. Yes, like Frank and Armand, first of all, a small history about the brewery. The brewery Cantillon was founded in 1900 by my great-grandfather, Paul Cantillon. Paul Cantillon came also from Lambic, from a brewer's family, and he founded his own brewery in Brussels because it was his brother who took the familiar brewery Lambic over. Paul Cantillon founded his brewery in Anderlecht. Anderlecht was in the beginning of the 20th century in the suburb of the city. You know, naturally, like all the big cities, Brussels is growing and we are into the city. That's for us a great advantage today because the brewery is also a museum and we receive a lot of tourists, but it's very difficult to grow. We can produce more because we are at the top of the production and we don't have surface enough, and when we are in a city it's naturally difficult to find the surface we need. So Paul Cantillon at the beginning was also a blender, and Paul Cantillon began to brew in 1937. So he founded material, so a brewery in Fay. Fay is a small village near the city of Liège in Wallonia. And he began to brew with two sons, Marcel Cantillon and Robert Cantillon. It was gold years for the Lambic. Paul Cantillon wanted to stop in the 60s, and Marcel, my grandfather, continued alone. But Marcel Cantillon had a daughter, no son, and for him nobody would take the brewery over. And he began to produce less and less. In 1968, Marcel Cantillon produced only 6 brews. In the 50s, more than 50, because he needed less and less young Lambic for the blending. And in 1968, my father, Jean-Pierre, married with Claude Cantillon, decided to take the brewery over. It was a great idea, but it was very difficult because the 70s and the 80s were very bad time for traditional Lambics, for the sour beer in general. A lot of small traditional Lambic breweries disappears. He decided to invent the museum in 1978, because if the brewery Cantillon is always here today, it's because of the museum. So we decided to open the door at the visitors. I think we are the only brewery in Belgium where people can come during all the day. We are open 6 days on 7. You visit the brewery totally alone with a small leaflet with all the information about the process. I think it's possible to visit all the breweries in Belgium, but only for groups and on reservation. At the brewery Cantillon, it's possible for individual people, and we receive more than 30,000 people a year now. A lot of American individual people, a bit more than 4,000. And thanks to the foundation of the museum, we saved the brewery Cantillon and we saved the traditional Lambic in Brussels, because we are the only Lambic brewery in activity in the city. The only brewery, actually. A new one is built for the moment and will open before the end of the year. But not a Lambic brewery, a beer from top fermentation. You know maybe the breweries, it's the Brasserie de la Seine, who produce also very good stuff, like the Rasgulba. So thanks to the foundation of the museum, we are always there. We produce always traditional Lambics. I am in the brewery, a bit like Armand. I'm born in the brewery. A bit later, because I'm a bit younger. But I was also in the brewery since my 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I began, in fact, I think in the 75, 76, so I was 7, 8 to label it, the bottles. I'm officially in the brewery since 89, and I blend alone since the end of the 90s, and Daniel said it, for 8 years now. I brew also alone. I learned everything in the brewery with my grandfather, with my father. The Lambic, you can learn it naturally, it's also very important, but I think that to produce Lambic you need 3 things. Raw materials, quality raw materials. It's why we are working at Brasserie Cantillon with organic cereals. You don't find the organic certificate on the labels in US because the European law, the European certificates for organic products are not recognized in US, but all our production are organics except some fruit beers. Yeah.
When did that start?
Organic, 99. We began to brew in 99, so the first organics goes were on the market in 2002, because we take 2 years to produce a beer. So, quality raw materials, time. Armand said it. We need a lot of time to produce a beer. We don't control the fermentation. We follow really the fermentation. For me, a Lambic brewer is not a brew master. A lot of brewers like to be called brew master. We are certainly not a master, because a master is someone who controls, who dominates the product. It's impossible to do it with a traditional Lambic. So we are brewer, Lambic brewer, but certainly not a brew master. So we need time to produce such a beer, a lot of time, and we need, maybe the most important thing, we need patience. And I think that here, at this table, we have the patience to produce such a beer. About the gueuze, yes, we produce finally in the same way, the same product. So the gueuze from Armand and from Frank are also a blend of 3 different lambics. So it's the most difficult way to produce a beer. We have to taste the beers. So we taste different lambics from different ages. We need young lambic. A young lambic contains sugar. We need old lambic. We are working with the old beers for the balance, for the fineness. We bottle the product, and in the bottle we have a natural second fermentation. We have to choose different types of lambic also, because we never produce exactly the same beer. With the spontaneous fermentation, each batch, each brew can be different. And it's why we have to choose different casks. They would give also some taste when we are working with new wood. Lambic will extract what contains the wood before: wine, cognac, port. You will taste a special thing at the end, I think. We bottle the beer, and in the bottle we are waiting the second fermentation, the carbonation. So when we bottle the beer, the blending is totally flat, and after some months the blending begins to sparkle, and the sparkling lambic is called gueuze. You want more?